That's a first.
All right, you consider approval of minutes for the regular ag board meeting, May 21st.
Skip me.
Yeah. Oh, city administrator report. John, what do you got?
You don't have any comments?
I don't have any.
All right. Just want to update you on a few things. As you can see, the pickleball courts, they poured the other half of the courts today. It'll take about 3 weeks for them to dry properly, to put the right coating and all that other stuff on, but it's moving along. They may have to add a little bit of a retaining wall, kind of there by the bathrooms. The security devices at the park have all been installed. We're just kind of waiting on getting the internet hooked up over there, and that should be any day now. Then that'll all be working. The 21,000 we had in sidewalk funds is going to get us about 200 feet going up 4th Street again from Gale Lane towards Fairview. So he did the 811 locates, and we'll be probably working on that in the next week or so. The sidewalk walking trail that's on the back side of the park by the old volleyball courts that gets slimy whenever we get rain. He's going to start working on that in the next couple of days and put like a little bridge kind of thing in there. So we'll probably have to shut down a portion of that walking trail, but we'll put it all over social media before we do that. And let's see, and I got some prices for putting a parking lot in similar to what they did across from the boys' dorm on Hillcrest, right there, just like 5 spots. About 30 by 50, 5 parking spaces. That would be everything, the parking stops, except for getting it striped, which shouldn't be too much, a couple $100 maybe. About $18,000 for that. For the pocket park, if we did some, just like a parking strip right there, that way, you know, because we have to have some type of parking if we're going to do anything with that. So, you know, that's something that we can bring back to you.
Did we ever get any information about putting up a fence around it, or that whole pocket park?
No, I have not looked into that.
At one time, there was talk of the fence on the north side of the pocket park. They were gonna put a fence there. That's been several years ago. I don't know whatever happened to that, but.
Well, and now that Carmen Salinas has her house there, you know, if we start using it, these folks may want a fence up around it.
That's very possible. That's something we can look into. I guess that's about it, unless anybody has any questions.
Well, I was looking at this concrete report over here, and it's kind of got a funny segment going out that can't be a racket or can't be a ball court. What's that for?
Basically, the way it's designed is there's going to be 2 courts kind of towards the pavilion, and then 1 court in the back. So that area can be used for seating, maybe some shade, or a place to sit and wait while you're waiting to play.
But there's supposed to be 3 courts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Great.
And they all run.
They're going to go this way. So there's going to be 2 side by side by the restrooms. And then as it kind of narrows down, there'll be a spot we can put a picnic table, we can put some shade, some chairs, benches, and then there'll be 1 more court kind of by itself.
Right next to the other 2, but on the end of them.
Right on the north side. Correct.
I was just kind of wondering what that thing went out there for.
Well, we have that 14-inch water line that runs right there, and you can't put the cord over the top of it, so it's kind of we had that little.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, we probably could have put 4 courts in, but.
Yeah.
All right, minutes from May 21st and July 16th.
I'll move to accept to it as presented.
Wasn't that the meeting that was canceled?
Well, it was, the second one was.
Was the second one canceled?
There's 3 of them. There's 3
Yeah, we
meetings
got
there,
3.
right?
Right, we've got 3 to approve.
And
There was
one,
nothing to talk about on one of them, as
we
I
didn't have a
recall.
quorum.
That was for July.
We didn't have a quorum.
Then we have the July 27th.
Well, okay. And I was gone one of those.
All right, so I have a motion, need a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Raise your hand. Item next one is the, special call one on the 27th, when we met back up. Need a motion to approve that one?
Move to approve.
Did you have a quorum for that one?
Yes.
Okay.
You had to have it.
Need a second?
Budget.
Dan, you can second that one also?
Yeah, sure.
All right, all in favor? I'll go on that. So now, C was a typo. We were supposed to say EDCB financial report. Apparently, I think our lawyer said that we need to probably not approve that, but let's go ahead and have it. Charles, because it's your last day with us, isn't it, or our last meeting? So lay it on us, and then we'll vote on it next time we meet. We'll just reapprove it. But you can tell us if there's information on it.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, board. Good to see you. This is July 31st, end of the month. The first thing is the revenues. As you can see, we get right near target at 80%. The target date is 3.3%. This is coming from the sales tax and interest income, which make up a big difference. You can see probably toward the middle of the page where the interest income is shown. We are 100, almost 180% above our target. That's because we changed the interest rate from a 2.25% to a 5.12%. So it really almost doubled from our target for that. The other part is your expenses side, and as you can see, it's a little at target right now at the end of the year, 100%. And the reason for that, the 114,000 was for the construction of the court that y'all approved, a while back. The invoices finally came through. The good news with that, even with that $114,000 that was divvied up, you can look at our money market on the second page, and it's right near over 100,000 from a year ago. So you can see that the money's been utilized very well and conservative on the expenses side. The other expenses are the normal from the expenditures, but the big one was that 114,000 that was for the schools. If there's any question, I'm happy to entertain you.
How's the one thing, those courts are used like crazy. Oh, they could investment, that second court, it's every night. Both of them are full, so.
And are the new lights up? Because it seemed sort of dark there the other night.
The south end is kind of dark, but
Yeah.
the north end is, it's got both those lights shining. I know the
Yes.
same thing,
Yeah.
the south end is dark.
Yeah, for right now, they just added, on the 3 existing lights, they just added another light. facing
Going that
way
other
on
direction.
2. If we need more light in the future, we can look into that.
It just
We'll be
seemed
exposed.
dark to me when I drove by, but
It's not stopping it from playing.
no,
No.
it's not. The park was jammed with people.
Yes.
Where's,
Any questions?
yeah, I got a question for Charles. I'm
Yes, sir.
trying to follow him here. The 114,000 is where?
It's part of the capital expenditures. It's showing 123,740. We send that amount on the second.
This is on July?
Yes, sir.
That's where I am.
14,000.
The second page,
Yeah.
right from the bottom.
Is it, what page, our pages are,
Oh,
Well,
I'm
the one
sorry.
that's on the screen, it's right there at the bottom, total capital,
yeah,
in the teal,
yeah,
We show 123,000.
740.
yes,
Okay. Oh, okay, over in the green, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you had a 114 somewhere you keep talking about?
It's within that amount,
Oh, okay, okay,
that 123.
okay.
And of course, we didn't budget for that amount when we was going through the process earlier in the year, so it's over that budget amount.
right,
Yes.
43,740. Okay. Oh, we can't.
Oh, this is right. Thank you, Charles. We're gonna miss you.
We're gonna miss
We'll
you.
vote on that when you're not here.
My question is, are you sure you really want to leave us?
All right. Thank you, Charles. All right, review and discuss, the skate park.
Yes, so in front of you, you should have a little guide, just kind of, and mine's a little bigger, printed on the wrong size paper, but anyways. Just kind of talks about it, maybe how to go about it. I know it was one of the kind of big projects we were looking at doing this year. So I did get some prices there, and from that one sheet of paper, you can see for just the smaller one, it's like 68,000, and then to do the concrete would be about 35,000 to do the concrete. Plus, we probably need some type of fencing or something around it to keep people from just running out there while people are riding on their skates, skateboards, whatever it may be.
So the design is 68,
Yeah.
and the actual doing it is
Yeah,
35.
The concrete. So
the concrete.
Right, but the intellectual design of doing it is 68 or
That,
those parts? Oh, and
yeah, and the ramps.
yeah, and they come and they install it all and put it all in. So it was just, the concrete would be separate. They could do the concrete too, but I'm sure it'd be a whole lot more than this. So this is just 3 different basic designs. If there was is something that you want me to kind of pursue and add to that project list that we're going to do later this year and kind of go have our public hearings and all that stuff.
Is this the only company that we got a bid from?
Yes, that's the only one. I reached out to a few of them, and this one was very, very helpful. They came out, they looked at the site, kind of gave me their thoughts on what we could use to start out. The other ones were kind of, what do you want? And
Yeah, I know,
how much money you got? And,
yeah, the skate parks built in Fort Worth are all done by a local company through Austin.
right.
They have the Chisholm Trail, the fire station, park, and they also did Granbury. So they're pretty familiar with the skate parks in their area. They might be a good resource to reach out to.
This one, I don't remember where they're out of, to be honest with you. But he's local because he's stopped by a couple of times. And they have a bunch of different ones. And if you go to their website, all over the place. So just
This-
want to bring you something and show you that, you know, we're working on this, and is this something that you want to pursue as part of one of those projects? Yes, sir.
Where are you gonna put this?
I was thinking up by where the sand volleyball courts are. I think it would be a good spot for it because there is a drainage issue. So there may be a little more cost because we may have to put like a retaining wall because it does slope down a little bit. But I think that would be a good spot for it.
Is there lighting available there?
Is there lighting?
Lighting.
There's power.
Okay,
I mean, they have lights on the walking trail right now.
okay.
So they would be able to put some lights up, yes. Which would be an added expense.
Yes, yeah, obviously.
The estimate on concrete at 35,000, is that a bid you got or just an estimate?
That's a bid I got from Kevin.
Okay, so
I took him the dimensions and the kind of
Well,
how
now,
they're supposed to be built.
these kind of deals, does it matter if they have slope in them from the earth?
Hey, if a gradual slope, probably not, but we're talking probably 4 or 5 feet,
Yeah,
so that would probably be too much.
well, they put batteries in those things now so they can go uphill.
kind of consensus though that we do want to pursue this more and look into it as we go.
So is this expandable? I mean, if we go with this one, can we expand it into more of the stuff like the additional ones?
Yes, definitely.
So are they saying this is a good place to start, but we can morph it into these other things, or do we have to like start over?
We can start wherever we want. This is just kind of from I showed them and what they looked at and the size of our city not having one yet. They said this would probably be your best bet.
This one on the front page.
Start out like that, see how it goes. You got room to expand and expand later if you want to.
Because the design for the next one up is 103.
Right.
I think we'd want to pour more concrete with less pieces on it than
Right.
add concrete later. So,
Right.
Do we have the money in the budget to do 103,000 or?
I believe so. We got 500 and
We
something in next year's budget. We're only at 3, and we're expected to at least get that much back in sales tax.
But we're not gonna encroach on any of that soccer field area.
No,
It's way across.
This is across the creek.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, you're right, yes.
The only issue about doing it in phases, typically, like if you do a small phase like the first page, then the second phase never comes. And so like what Chuck
I know.
said, absolutely do a bigger, area pour at once. And, maybe plan ahead to where, like, if it is something that we do go forward with, make it to where the kids will be able to use it, not just, be bored with it after 5 minutes.
And then I think we need to include fencing around it for pricing. I don't know that it needs a gate, but it does need an entrance to keep people from just jumping in anywhere.
right. For safety reasons. Yeah,
Sure.
you don't want somebody just darting out in the middle of it.
But I would definitely like to see what other companies have, just, for a price point.
Okay.
Personally, I appreciate the work the 4B board does, because when we passed all this tax stuff in 1998, Keene became a charter city. It was my wish that we do this kind of park thing. And Lisa Carver helped us get some grants, and that's why we named the park after her. But we kind of didn't do anything for a while. The economic development people thought they were going to take over all the 4B money, so they renamed it something else,
Business development.
which made me kind of unhappy, because the whole concept was to do something that our kids could enjoy during the summer or whenever, or old people too, if you're so inclined to walk. And for us to be doing this, I think it's just great. I applaud the 4B board from years past, but we seem to be getting it with it a little faster now, because got this money built up, and it was there to use, not for economic development, but for quality of life. That's what we deemed it.
Right.
And those scoundrels from a council several years ago changed the name so they could use it for economic development. That bothered me.
Well, speaking of the name, we're missing a letter on the sign. And that's,
For how many years?
and that's been brought up to me, so.
What sign are you talking?
Eliza Park.
Oh,
Carver Park.
yes,
The-
yes.
Eliza Carver, there's no V,
Yeah, it's
so.
missing for a while.
Do we know, is it, do we know where it's at, or is it just missing?
It's gone.
It's the G that's missing?
The V,
V,
V.
V.
Oh,
It's
I was gonna say,
car-
if it's a G, you could look on Knott's house.
Well. So in
I
future,
don't know what it would cost to get somebody to come out and make just a V, you know,
well,
because
what about the,
or should we just
that
try to
metal,
redo the whole thing, or just take the name down?
is,
or-
what are they made of? Are they metal?
is it
Yeah, it's
metal?
like sheet metal.
You go over to Lee Products, they'll make it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say, what about Lee Products?
Do you have a V to copy? That's what I'm saying.
They
Well,
what?
Does it,
Have a V to copy, to make it look, I mean,
Surely we have the design somewhere.
we must have a picture.
You just copy the font. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the font.
it's just the whole thing. About a month ago, I know you ran into a couple of years ago and almost knocked over, and we had to replace one of the poles. And then about a month ago, the whole part of that screen on the back was just hanging off. So right now it's just kind of tied back on, put back in place. So really, if we're gonna do something, let's redo the whole thing and do it right, and re-weld it and get some new wire mesh.
And redo the whole name.
Right, instead of just one letter.
That leads us into number 8, so
Yep.
future agenda items is to look at the sign at the park.
Yep, there you go.
Who did the lettering to start with?
I have no idea.
It could have been Lee Products.
Yeah, let's find a font that's easier to read.
Because all that stuff can be welded up. I'd say if you can get a V like it, put the V up. That other stuff can be welded back up and made, and there's not too many people gonna drive by looking at it anyway if I weld it. So,
I just don't know the shape of the rest of it because it's so high up. We don't really have anything to get up there safely.
They rent boom trucks, boom trailers.
Yeah, we would have to rent a lift or something, or get somebody to come over.
you have a ladder? It's probably about
not
13
that
feet
tall.
tall.
Not without putting it in the back of a truck. That's how we repaired it temporarily, was put a ladder in the back of a truck, and it's on a slope.
So yeah, let's look into A, repairing or replacing.
Okay.
What about those guys that put up the banners? Don't they have a boom
Their truck is
down?
gone, basically,
We need new people to put up the banners then.
yes.
All right, any other future agenda items we want to add for next month?
I want to talk about what it would take to have some bleachers at the park, because I see a lot of people sitting on the ground when everyone's out there playing soccer. So I would just like to know what it would take to do that. And then find out about the fencing for the pocket park,
Oh, the fence.
the pocket park, and then the banners.
Yes, I have 2 more ordered. It seems like about every 2 weeks, they're getting old and they're
Getting
falling
old.
apart and getting wrinkled.
So do they
Cracked.
still have our, because I like the banners we have. Do they still have the template on our design and all that? So we can, maybe we should get a whole new set.
Well, we've replaced like 4 of them already, and then 2 of them they sent back to us. They didn't put the grommets in them, so you can, so we took them back down so they wouldn't get messed up. We'll take them back when we get the other 2 that are now broken, put them all back up.
And then I would like for us to discuss additional Christmas decorations for the park, because that's coming up again soon. And we had talked at one time about adding slowly to what we had.
Well, we took our spot. It's got a pickleball
Well, we're
court on it.
still gonna put a tree up somewhere, I guarantee you, and we can have some
We
decorations
planted one.
there.
It's about this tall.
Did this tree go away?
No,
No.
we have it in storage over in Public Works.
And we can expand it still to make it higher, correct?
You can, yes.
So we need to find out what it would cost to expand it to make it higher, I think.
Okay.
Because if we're gonna have the Christmas market again, which I think we are, we definitely wanna decorate.
Cheryl, the bleachers you talked about was for the basketball or for the soccer?
For soccer,
We should probably also look into
They're
maybe
just sitting-
something,
because didn't we already get some seating going, or we were going to in that area that we poured for the
I don't-
basketball?
I don't think we've done it
Well,
yet.
so maybe we need to look for seating for that too, not excessively, but I saw quite a little crew of people sitting on the ground out there the other night, especially for the soccer, although the basketball courts were both busy too.
Well, I guess that's
Yeah.
pretty small, little 15, 20 people.
Yeah, just a few.
A single bench will work for
Yeah.
basketball, but the soccer may need 2 or
A couple of
3.
tiers.
But I think that 3 would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe put it like a picnic table over in that area.
yeah, I mean, that sounds good too, because you're talking about shade for that area over there, pickleball court. So once again, let's look at shade sales. I mean, just, all you have to do is find out the info. We can decide if we're gonna do it or not. But
Right.
it would be nice to sort of jazz it up a little bit and give people a place to be.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
The banners you were talking about, which are they?
The ones along Old Betsy with
Okay,
the
on
flag.
the posts where the flags are, well, I know, yeah, some of the flags are missing now. Are
Right.
those the ones you sent off to repair? or-
Yes. We'll get new ones. They're
I
just,
thought somebody was stealing them. Was that?
I think the
a couple
wind-
of them broke, one in a windstorm. But the few that we found that were almost falling off, they're just getting dry rotted. It's been several years and
Yeah,
they're starting to crack. And
Yeah.
so they're a little over 100 something a piece, I think. I
and
think
how
we
many
replaced-
posts do we have? Do we need to get both sides probably, both banners?
Eventually, yeah. We'll try to get up
Do
there
we
and look
ever
at 'em all.
change the other side?
Do we what?
Do we have some different designs for the back side? Because the flag's on the front side, right?
Well, the flag on one side and the city of Keene is on the other.
But is there different designs for those on the back side to put something up every now and then that's different?
We have some for Starfest. We have some for Christmas.
Okay,
A couple different designs. It's just last year, I don't think they got done because we were gonna pay Action Signs to do it and their truck broke and
Is he the guy with the bucket truck, the old Chevy bucket truck?
Yes, and then basically I was like, hey, I need these done, you know,
Well, who
by next
installs-
week. And he called me back and
Yeah.
he said, well, I think my truck's gone and not gonna replace it.
Well, I saw it driving around in Cleburne this week,
I think he finally got it fixed, but
so.
that was just in the last couple of months.
So I just wonder who installs the banners in Cleburne, because does he have that
I
contract?
think he did those too. I remember seeing his truck out there before.
Well, we need to give him our dates now.
Yes.
All right, motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All right.
Thank you. And
Thank
Charles,
you.
we will miss you.
Yes, we will.
Yes.